The Conceit of Caveman Society. To speak for men, I will say that we are also victims of being born and raised in a sick society. We suffer from the terrible insecurities that are masked by the overcompensations of narcissism. This caveman society and sexuality results from this sickness of conceit and makes men think they can seduce women by overpowering their resistance and by using their pride in an appendage over self-awareness, kindness, humor, or spiritual wisdom or grace. The feminine values of tenderness, understanding, romance, and true intimacy has been lost to the materialistic and existential physicality of those who are soulless. And it is not just the province of men. These soulless victims of any gender believe only in this world and in wealth, physical strength, and the vanity of mere appearances. You can't have it both ways. You cannot design a society based on consumerism and use violence to enforce it on the world to rob them of materials to support the plastic baubles of a materialistic, superficial, and vain capitalism for the hardworking poor, and unchecked wealth and subsidies, socialism, for the rich. If you use false flags and terrorism to maintain a bloated military that sucks away all our ability to progress our civilization through tolerance, respect, mutual cooperation, peace, love, and wisdom, when you extol the virtue of manly violence in media and degrade women into objects for pleasure and control, you get extremely, obscenely, and obsessively rich and powerful. You also lose all hope of a humanity that is humble and wise, spiritual, loving, kind, tender, and innocent. Whether it is the Virgin Mary or the whore of Babylon, you have the mental illness that passes for love in a narcissistic society, filled with the existential fear of life and death, and the unimaginative and faithless dogma of atheism and rationalism. This is the conceit that gives birth to 1,000 atrocities, genocide, pollution, war, and violence against children and women and the powerless in all nations. It is the loss of innocence that is the root of this epidemic of conceit. We have been traumatized by assassination, oppression, prohibition, and economic warfare of the rich against the poor. We have lived all our lives under the threat of annihilation by nuclear war, natural disaster, and human error, and the stagnation that refuses to change so that the same few families can continue to amass fortunes and gain even more power than any nation that ever existed in the history of the world. We must, as a society, disavow this economic tyranny and turn our backs on the arrogance of scientifically limited mechanics who cannot see the divinity of the poetic mind of the universe, of which all life is an essential part. Until we recognize our true humble place as actors in one-act plays in eternity, and become aware of the living cosmic infinity all around us, we will continue to support an ever more brutal and selfish society. filled with such a secret self-loathing, thinly disguised as narcissism, and bent on the self-destructive extinction of all life on earth. When men have departed from innocence, heaven's blessings do not go with their deeds. Confucius. Woe to you, Sadducees and Pharisees! You are blind guides. You are like whitewashed tombs, all clean and white on the outside, but inside filled with all corruption and dead men's bones. You refuse to enter the temple of God, and you do not allow others to enter. Yours is a house of desolation, the home of the snake and the spider.